You need to tweak an asset without messing everything up. Luckily, there's Adobe Express. Create assets.
Pixar's Elio is certified fresh.
It's really happening!
And Pixar's best original since Coco.
Welcome everybody, the Mama 5, good to see you. Good to see you, Marriott, good to see you everybody. Welcome. Let's get started. Hit the like button. Yeah, let me see here. Welcome back, guys. That was SHOCKS. Shout out to SHOCKS. You can find her on YouTube. She does like this monthly thing on YouTube, and that's the one they just dropped today. You know, like the rest of them gospel artists in Nigeria. But welcome back. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Hit subscribe. Today we have a couple of stories we need to get through. Of course, today we're going to touch on this story. Everybody have touched on it, but I'm going to give my take on it. The Chief Iwuanyanwu. We're going to talk about that today. Of course, banning the widow from remarrying. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to give my take on that today. And of course, today we're going to, of course, talk about Tuface. It's probably why you're here. Hit the like button. Please give me my like. So thank you. We're going to talk about Tuface today. And then, of course, today we're going to, my favorite couple right now, the Feminist, one half feminist. I think she used to be feminist. I'm not sure if she's still a feminist. Nonetheless, yes, we're going to talk about Ife today and Frank iTom, the new husband. See how I said that? It should be new husband, new wife. Okay, new couple. That's a better way to say that. New couple. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about that today. And of course, like I said, we're going to talk about Tuface. So do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, talk. Get something nice like this and crackers. Okay. All right. Welcome back. My name is Ola, coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Of course, this is the Prestige family. Over here, what we do is we extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics. We tackle it with from a standpoint of self-power, social seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence. We basically try to put our emotions under control. We acknowledge that we're all emotional beings, regardless of gender. We acknowledge there are gender differences. We acknowledge the genders are not equal. They both have strengths and weaknesses. And if you try to pretend or be delusional about that, you go collect wuro from all sides. All right, so we don't really claim the realist thing. I think we're all delusional. Nobody is real. Everybody wants to fantasize. Okay, who wants the truth? The truth is bitter. It's a hard pill to swallow. So we want to acknowledge that first. But yes, we want the truth. But we don't want to pretend like we're just this walking straight line human beings. It doesn't exist. Okay, so the closest we can get to that is first of all to acknowledge our nature as human beings first. We're in a new month. Happy July, and happy 4th of July weekend to everybody in the United States. So this week is a big holiday week, sort of half days and things like that, you know. So happy independence to everybody in the United States of America. With that being said, our new goal, we set a new goal because this is what we did last month, $180. So why not set it as a new goal? We need to beat this goal in July. This is what we did in June, $180. So right now it's at 0. We're starting fresh, new beginnings. Also, it's the second half of 2025. So why not start fresh? New beginnings, second chances, those kind of things, right? Yeah, hit the like button, share, subscribe. You can use also this other stuff to let me see, whenever I hear boom boom in my, okay, just making sure. All right, making sure that you guys can hear me. All right, so you can use what do you call it, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal. Email address is ask@manofprestige.com. Cash App is $manofprestige. And I want to say thank you again for always supporting. If you hit like, thank you. If you leave comment, thank you. If you donated, thank you. If you any way you support us, if you're watching, thank you. I appreciate you. I really appreciate if you subscribe. Just in case you haven't subscribed, my numbers are showing too many people watching on a consistent basis but not subscribing. So please subscribe. Let's get the subscriber numbers up to 7,000. We're at 60 something, I don't know, 6,500, something like that. Anyway, but let's get to 7,000 as soon as we can. The only is purely sentimental. The numbers are the numbers, but I need to see the subscriber number purely for sentimental reasons. I want to have a bragging right to say, hey, we hit 7,000, you know. Yeah, so let me see. Quick shout out to people in the chat. I see Cool Mama, good to see you. Cool Mama, good to see you. Abby, good to see you. I see y'all. All right, let's get into the story. A couple of stories I want to talk about today. Like I said, Chief Iwuanyanwu, the late Chief Iwuanyanwu, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Tubaba and his ex-wife and his new girl, Natasha, and a couple of things he had to say. We're going to react within fair use guidelines to the new Natasha Podcast. Yeah, I got to make sure I give him the proper credit too. I'll do that. And of course, we're going to talk about Ife and iTom, my new favorite couple. I really like them and I'm rooting for them. And I think they're going to be just fine. I like what they have going on. It's pretty healthy. All right. So, but I'll highlight what I think is healthy for you. Okay. I'm not a big fan of Ife's overwoke feminists nonsense with the surrogacy nonsense. You need to kind of like stop that. But because of that young man, I think they're gonna be fine. Should I give her the credit too? I'll give her some credit too. But we'll get to that. So hit like, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. And I will be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right. So welcome back. Let's talk about this man. What's his name again? His name is Iwuanyanwu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Excuse me if I'm not. But Chief Iwuanyanwu, late Chief Iwuanyanwu. But I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly, because the lesson here is gonna be pretty quick. You know, the lesson might not be what you think. I don't know what else has been said out there with regards to them. But I caught a little bit of their story. He passed on not too long ago, and then there's a will. Okay, but let me read this report on the Vanguard. The Vanguard says 1 year after his demise, the last will and testament of the late elder statesman and former President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, has been read to the family. Iwuanyanwu and his first wife, Lady Idora Nena Ozinyereaku Iwuanyanwu were married for over 40 years until her passing on August 28, 2011. So that's his first wife. I think they might have like 4 children together, something like that. I don't know. But they have grown children, you know, as you can imagine. In 2013, the late businessman and politician at 72 married 26-year-old Francis Chinonyerem Ewerem. He died on July 25, 2024. That's about a year ago, at the age of 82. Okay, all right. On June 16, 2025, Iwuanyanwu's will was made public. The will, announced by Chief Chukwuma Ekomaru SAN, detailed how the revered businessman estate will be shared among his immediate family and chosen beneficiary. All right, excuse me 1 second, guys. Hey, Chinye, good to see you, Chinye. All right. Among the notable provisions is the bequest of the iconic Legacy House on Port Harcourt Road, Owerri, to Frances. However, she is expressly, well, there's other things that she also got to. I think she got a company, some kind of company that used to be led by the ex-late wife, and a host of other things. But I guess the main one is this Legacy House. that Vanguard is reporting. But, however means but, she is expressly forbidden from selling the property. Okay, there's more. Alongside the residence, she also inherits ownership of Magill Furniture, a business previously run by Iwuanyawu's late first wife, Eudora, as well as partial stakes in real estate assets located in Orji, Works Layout, and Naze, all in Imo State. The will stipulates that should Frances choose to remarry, I think now she would be, if that was 2013, she got married at the age of 26 years old. 2013 will be plus 12 years, so she should be about what? 37 years old now, 38? 2013. What year are we in? Okay, plus 12. Okay, maybe about 38 years old. Anyway, if she should remarry, what happens if she remarries? She will automatically forfeit all these inheritances. The couple's son is granted ownership of the family's Abuja residence. Meanwhile, the London property is to be sold, with the proceeds distributed as follows: 60% of the education, 60% for the education of Iwuanyawu's youngest son. I think that's the son that she has for him. 30% to his first son, and 10% to Ezine, the current occupant, to support her relocation. Oh wow. Iwuanyanwu directed that the glass house near the Owerri flyover be transformed into a public trust. An independent board will oversee the property's use for charitable and community-focused initiatives. Other valuable assets spread across Abuja, Imo, and other locations in Nigeria have been equitably allocated among Iwuanyawu's 5 children. So as you can imagine, the main part of this story is the restrictions around the inheritance that the ex or the widow, Chief Iwuanyawu's widow, she has to deal with right now. She cannot remarry. If she remarries, she will automatically forfeit all of this inheritance. All right. So now, with that being said, was he being fair? Okay, that's the question. Was Chief Iwuanyanwu, was he being fair? A lot of people have a lot of things to say about this. I'm going to come to the chat in a second, but let me set up this poll. If you are part of the 36% that haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button right now. Okay, so was late Chief Iwuanyanwu being fair? Yeah, so I set that poll up right now, so let me see what you guys are saying about that. But let me come to the chat. Let's see what's going on, if there's anything. Was he being fair? Do you think that's fair? She was 26 years old, he was 72 years old. 26 to 72, that's like 40 plus 45 years difference. That's a lot of difference, right? Toby and Tribe, how you doing, Toby and Tribe? She said she can just have a boyfriend, right? So with that being said, do you think that's being fair? Is it fair? Is it fair enough? I mean, after all, she can just have a boyfriend for the rest of her life. If she lives up to 82, the age where the man passed on, she has to deal with just boyfriends for the next 40 plus years, right? Is that fair? Fair enough, maybe, yes. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the poll. Anybody voting? Let me see. Okay, some people are voting, I guess. Okay, 60% says fair. Okay, 40% say not fair. So if you said not fair, can you please give me some explanation to why you think it's not fair? Fair enough. You know, I mean, a good explanation would be she can just have boyfriends. She has all this properties, fortune, wealth, a whole business. I mean, she gets to inherit the business of the previous wife, the late wife that passed on, right? So everything in life comes at a cost. Yes, even for you ladies, right? So the cost now is that she's not allowed to have any other husband. Somebody said, but if he was able to inherit from his wife, what do you mean? He inherited from his wife? It was the man. What do you mean? He was able to inherit from his wife the business. How come she can't just inherit? And he was able to remarry. How come he couldn't inherit? You know what I think? I think something happened. He knows something that the rest of us don't know. Because generally speaking, yeah, I feel like he might. There are men that can do that, of course. There are men that will absolutely do that. But I think he saw something before he died. He saw something and he determined in his heart that, okay, you will never be free for as long as you want to eat my money. My money, not our money. Okay, our money under one condition. Under one condition. Toby and Tribe says he wants his wealth to stay in his family. Yes. We can consider that a traditional something, right? Yeah, so is she allowed to have kids from other men? That's a good question. That could be a loophole she can explore, right? I heard that Ojukwu did the same thing with Bianca Ojukwu. That's what I heard, but I don't know. Listen, man, some people might say, well, that's misogynistic, okay? Chauvinist behavior, patriarchy. Okay, all right, it's the reality. But I think he wanted to keep the fortune in the family, based on the culture, with respect to the culture. I think that can be respected. I think we can respect that. It is what it is. Because guess what? She went and married this 72-year-old man. What about that part? Everything comes at a cost. She knew what she was doing at 26 when she married a 72-year-old man and had a baby for the man. You don't think she knew what she was doing? So is this the point where I'm supposed to feel sorry for her? I don't, because she just inherited a bunch of properties. I don't feel sorry. I'm sorry. It's not fair. Chiye says it's not fair. She only has a child and might want to create a family and have more children. Like she can explore that loophole, right? Talk to a lawyer. See, does the will say I can't have children? Can I have children? I can't marry. I cannot marry. But in the traditional land of Igbo land, or maybe Africans in general, once Yoruba people say any bimo funi kuro lali eni. That means if you have a child for a person, you are no longer considered just a concubine. By default, now consider one of the wives. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule, but generally speaking, can that mess with that stipulation? Can she possibly forfeit everything? Abi, what do you think about the idea of hiding the baby too from the public? Lord have mercy. Bottom line is that there's a certain level of freedom she no longer has, as long as she wants to enjoy those inheritance. And Mario says it's not unfair. Double negative. May God help you. It's not unfair. She is being cared for. Her child are cared for. Okay. So she's saying it's fair, right? She says, especially if she's a Christian. Wait, the Chinye one, I didn't finish reading it. She said it's not fair. She only, okay, already read that. Okay. She says, especially if she's a Christian and believe in creating a family with or not. She's a Christian and she married a 72-year-old man at that age. I mean, there's no rules against it. You're right. But Betty, Chinye, I'm not with you on this one. Sorry.
Got him. Got him.
Sorry, Chi. Sorry. I'm not with you. She's a Christian. She wants to know. There's a disconnect somewhere. I don't know how to put it into words. There's a disconnect somewhere. I felt like regardless of his riches, she was his wife until his death. Why place such a clause in her? I'm thinking he knows something that we don't all know. Because he could have simply said if he wants to be all the way traditional, like the baby could inherit everything, and then the mother is taken care of or something. I don't know, but that restriction tells me there's something that we don't know. Is it fair? Ultimately, I still think it's fair because she knew what she was doing when she went and married a 72-year-old man. I think that's a stretch. Once somebody is breaking certain unwritten rules like that, anything goes. We don't have any rules, any kind of guide here. Like, I don't know. What do you want me to say? So I think there's something, that we will probably not know because he probably took it to his grave, Abby says she should choose her peace of mind and leave everything behind.
You doing what?
Oh God. Oh Lord have mercy. She has options. Marriott says she has. MOP, that was my thought also. I have a feeling something happened which made him apply the will that way. Yeah, something happened, but he was like, kakaki. How do they say this? I'm looking. There's a proverb, Yoruba proverb that's coming to me right now, but it's something about sese mafi shawadan. Kakaki adieda milogun. Adieda milogun ma foleyini. Something like that. Obika kaki ma sese ewadan. If you know Yoruba, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. Just help me. Okay. Imagine me on Masoyibo. The way you said that, Shaola, I forgot what I said. Let me see. I don't think so. Mario said, I don't think so. Ganifa and me had the same clause for his mistress. Our own Ganifa were me. Really? Rich, educated men do this now. Okay, you're talking about the traditional thing? Okay, maybe. It doesn't mean he suspected her of anything. I don't know. So it could just be a clause like, hey, let me pin you down. Now, that would be patriarchy at its best. Misogynist, chauvinist. Help me now. I can't use those words. Pin her down for the next 50 years or 60 years. If she's still alive, she's mine. Okay? Traditionally speaking, his children can actually inherit the young wife or his younger brother. That's some of the things that they did in Yoruba land, at least. They can be inherited. I've seen this in my own family. So, Chia says, consequence of wanted to marry someone who is old enough to be your grandfather because you want to go and chop money. In 2013 can be passed as a modern age now. So if she's breaking unwritten rules, there are going to be unwritten consequences that unfortunately she cannot be protected from. Would the kids allow her explore? I don't know. Some of them might be modern, might be like, don't worry, don't make any noise out. Maybe the kids are modern enough. Abby says, I'm not sure a woman that contributed enough towards his wealth would have been given such a stringent clause. That's another angle. I doubt it too. But in the last 10 years, they were together for about 11 years. I think that's significant enough in a person's life, because the way the story is being told right now is like she married him yesterday. No, 11 years in somebody's life is significant. So, but I agree with you at the same time. If this was because men would tend to measure it from the beginning of their life, the beginning of their adulthood. So he might be thinking particularly in that direction. Yeah, chop my money till you buy there. Not financially, maybe just value. It's not ideal, but not unfair. Yes, I don't use the word unfair here. If you know me well enough, you've been listening long enough, we don't do when it comes to love and war, all is already fair. It is what it is. When we're fighting for societal cause, equality for women, right? In terms of workplace equality, equal opportunities, yes, fairness should come in. But when it comes to this matter of kwekus and no, and the prick, no, it's already fair. Make sure that you get the help you need in terms of how to educate yourself, how to navigate this thing, because in love and war, all is fair. All right, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to come out to the internet and cry to us how unfair it's been. I'm not even arguing with you. I'm just looking at you like, can you tell me more? Anyway, she's a Christian. Did she marry for love or greed? Ha! That one a jam question. Who go answer? I think only Baba can answer that question. And he's gone. Rest in peace to Chief Iwuanyanwu. There's no commandment against covetousness in the Bible. Bible? We don't know. We have to declare covetousness first now, Marriott. How do we have to declare covetousness first before we say there's commandment against it? We don't know if it's covetousness. That's why I call it unwritten rule. There's no rule against marrying a person that's 50 years older now. Even if you want to consider morals, I know many of you like all this PDF behavior, blah blah blah. I beg, she was an adult. She's 26 years old. Me and you can sit here and say yes, we find it disgusting. That's me and you's opinion. At the end of the day, there's no rules against it. Why did she want her mom's bestie husband? What if I'm saying what I'm saying? She says what I'm saying is if she doesn't want to have sex out of wedlock and wants the honorable family as opposed of having children outside of marriage. She
You they use your function to play.
I don't know, Chie. I don't know. I'm tired. We have some other stories to get to. Let me finish this. I'm telling you. Ma following at the Edam logo, ma following Kakakin, there's Kakakin, Kinikon, Sese, Mafi Shawadanoni, something like that. That one I'm missing. If anyone is looking for the perfect will, take a look at Ghani's will. It was beautiful. Please, if you have a link to it, send it to me, Jojo. I'd like to take a look at that. That would be a good case study. You know what? F all this, Chinye said. F all this property. I want to be free. Let me forget this property and go marry. Yeah, right. Where's Uncle Kidola when I need him? Where is he when I need him? I beg. Inherit wife ke tufiakwa. It happened to my great aunt. In fact, she just passed away. She was my not great aunt. Well, she was, let me tell you, very funny, interesting story. She's my aunt on my father's side. Okay. But she's my stepmother on my mother's side. Yes. I've told you guys before. Our family house, my father and my mother is like 2 houses apart in our village, right? So they kind of know each other. In fact, it became a point of contention when my father was about to marry my mother. My grandfather, my maternal grandfather, was against it a little bit because he was like, I don't want to Bashikpa Romo because his second wife, is my father's cousin. Are you shocked? I'm here 45 years later.
He shock you.
It's okay. Drink water. Anyway, now that my father's cousin was inherited by my mother's uncle, but let's not worry about that. Let's just keep it moving, okay? She said I go remain single for life than being inherited. Though. I know exactly what you mean by inherit wife. Now, on die old, but one shoe lokporini. On shoe lokpo. It's a real thing in Yoruba land, though. Marrying the Baba must have been influenced also. Remember, she's the daughter to the friend of the late wife. Of course. You know, so there's probably a lot more to it than we can see. Let's just. In love and war, all is fair. Whatever point of contention you have about this story is interesting. Is she trapped forever? Not necessarily. She should explore the having babies for other men. Maybe call it artificial insemination or something. Surrogacy or something. Shout out to Ife. We're going to bring Ife into the story in a minute. Something. She can call it something, you know. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let me know what you think about this one. Let's move on into Tuface. Yes, for a specific reason, I want to address Tuface first before we go into Ife and iTom. All right, but stay tuned. I will be right back. Here you go.
it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. I had to leave Annie. Tubaba reveals why he chose Natasha. Well, in so many words, there's so many things that we have to talk about here. All right, so many things that we need to talk about. You know, Tubaba was on a platform called what do they call it? They call it the 234 Mzansi Podcast. That's the podcast where what's his name is right now? What's his name, Jerry? This guy right here, Nedu Azobia, Nedu that used to be on Honest Bunch podcast. He's now on a new podcast called 234 Mzansi. It's a Nigerian South African podcast. So they are on their 5th episode or so. So I'll definitely be paying attention to them. I subscribed. So there's a couple of things that Tuface said here that I thought might be of interest to you guys. You know, the Mom of 5, I think you're going live at 2 or something like that, right? You're going live at 2. I will try to stop by at 2. This thing that you said is what made me remember. Two-Face Tubaba with his men Bible. Yes. So I will join you. I'll try to join you today. All right. So by the way, I always watch your replays. All right, so let's talk about Tubaba. Two-Face, a little while back, maybe less than a year, announced to the whole world that him and his wife are no longer together, that they've been separated, and they are in fact going through a divorce. Shortly thereafter, you saw the likes of Tokema Kinwa came out and said, no, you will never do that to her. And then before we know it, they said she's in rehab, and then she came out, tried to form Maya Doche, but it's a struggle. Anyway, she's since come out and she's doing some endorsement. Shout out to Annie, you know. But Tubaba has since been shown in multiple different ways. He wants to live free. He said he wants to be free. You know, that's one thing I'm getting out of Two-Face. He's like once something is over, it's over. Tubaba is how old is Tubaba? He should be about 50 years old or so. Tubaba and Two-Face is the same person, by the way. He's 49 years old. In September, he'll be 50 years old. So, Tubaba, he barely has any kind of gray hair on his body, on his face. So, what that tells me, just that with many other things that look at his demeanor, his aura, the way he carries himself. I don't think that guy wants to be bothered. Okay. I don't think he wants to be bothered. Okay, so he might allow you to bother him for maybe about 12 years when the average marriage is lasting 8 years. I think 12 years is a stretch, don't you think? Considering his personality and what we can see about him, considering his history, which by the way is history, he said it on this podcast, his history, most of this history that people are pulling up are basically things from, you know, some years back, you know. So one of the major questions today that we're going to get answered today. So we're going to have fun, but let's consider it interactive coaching session. Okay, we're going to have fun. One of the questions I want to hear from you guys answer today: at some point, all men will cheat, true or false? We're going to run those polls today and see where we get to, right? Cheating can be a mistake, true or false? We're also going to run that poll and see where you guys are on that, right? Once a cheater, always a cheater, true or false? We're also going to run that today, okay? And can you forgive a cheating partner? I want to know what your answer is today as well. Those are some of the questions we must get answered today. It's possible to trust again after cheating, true or false? That'll be the last one, okay? So I'm going to play this first clip and then we'll take it from there. Listening.
It happens.
You can't question it.
But that aspect is it happens.
You can't question it.
But all in all, there's no hate.
But I'm going to ask you one quick question.
I see a bunch of
I'm gonna
calls
ask you one
already.
quick question. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to women, when it comes to marriage,
Yeah.
I'm going to call you are my guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I love you so much.
Yeah.
But are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, I've been with beautiful people, man. Wonderful, amazing people. But times and circumstances change sometimes.
Okay.
Some things outgrow some things. But for me, like I said earlier, there's no hate, there's no animosity. They just be saying, some kind of things, no just.
All right. If you ever find yourself in this, so remember we just addressed Stella and Daniel, right? This is how you answer that. Okay. So kudos to him for that. This is how you answer that question, especially on a podcast and you still have market to sell. You have a brand to sell. You have to show up on podcasts. People who want to leverage their friendship, whatever reason why it's on this podcast, you have something to sell. The idea in 2025, you cannot shy away from questions about your personal life, especially if you try to shy away from it and say it's not your business, you are manipulative. That's all that tells us. But if you can't figure out how to say, you know what, no animosity, just some people outgrow each other, then you have deeper issues. Now, if this was back in the days of some of our older guys, they don't believe in what I just said. But we're in a different era, in a different disposition. This is how it has to work right now. But a lot of people don't get that yet. So kudos to him for that answer.
We walk together again. But for me,
I just want to say this, and I want
Thank you, Ashabi.
I love the question that you're asking, Nedi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's rare, and I've had this conversation so many times with my husband
I'm
and
other
men, right? And they
Other men. And you are married.
My husband,
I'm
other
saying
men.
about other men. All right, so let's move on to the next segment here. All right, listen to this.
The only people that are really, really of concern to me, the only people that are really, really my kids. And for me, they are the only people that I owe any explanation or that I owe anything. That I owe anything to, as a matter of fact. They're the only people. Because all
right, so let me ask you guys a question. He said the only people that he owes explanation to about anything that anybody has to say about, they're talking about the divorce, the marriage, is his kids. Do you agree with that or not? Okay, I don't think they finalized the divorce yet, but he's saying right now the only thing I want to agree with is that I'm owing any explanation to is my kids. And that's it. And no more, no less. What do you think about that? Do you agree with that? Or you feel some type of way about that? Let me see what the chat is saying on this one. Do you agree with that? Abi, you're like, nah. You should tell us a little bit more. Let me see. Your Google of kids, school bus full of them. Your goggle of kids, school bus full of them. He said the only thing he cares about is his kids, right? Do you think that's why he cares? Because it's the only kids, right? But what do you think about that? Abby says, but he came out to tell us to begin with. That's a good question. But I'm going to give him a pass on that because we've all messed up before. The only thing I disagree with is shout out to Uncle Beno when you come and say, oh, man, you speak as no, as a mistake, yeah. As a moment of weakness, yes, I can acknowledge it. We've all been there where we misbehave out of pure emotions. Maybe we got upset. We didn't have anybody to hold me back, right? And then you say what you're not supposed to say in the heat of the moment emotionally, right? I can acknowledge that can happen. But, life is not about things not happening. It's about what do you do with crises when they happen, right? Life, like anybody who is in pursuit of, there will never be crisis, will always fail. It's a loser's battle, okay? But knowing that there are going to be crises, but preparing yourself to handle crisis and learn from every opportunity you get to handle crisis is going to be the key that you need to learn from winners. So I'll give him a pass on that, especially now with his conduct in this interview. I'll give him a pass on it. Nonetheless, we can say, hey, Don't jump out here and start dragging your family, because guess who you'll be dragging? If you try to drag your ex-wife, you'll be dragging your children. So this is another highlight of that, and he's acknowledging that in this. He's acknowledged that actually a couple of times in the interview that his children's going to come up a couple more times, you know. He also adjusted the context later on in this interview somewhere where he said, no, that was a different context. He's just saying with respect to the public. That's what it was saying. All right, now let's move on to this segment. I'll come to the chat in a second here. Let's listen to this.
Yeah. And how I'm feeling. Like I said earlier, man, amazing people.
Yeah.
You know, mother of my children, amazing people. My Annie, amazing. You know, and who I'm with now is also amazing. You understand what I'm saying? And everybody get their own strong characters and their strengths and their
True.
And their beauty and all, you know. So for me, that's how I see life. And now people now create those unnecessary.
All right, so up to that point is correct. Everybody have their strength and weaknesses. He's not saying nobody was guilty. He's not saying it's not guilty. It's said, hey, differences, people have to move on. Sometimes people outgrow each other. And people, everybody, he said, amazing people. Mentioned Annie's name. Kudos to him for that. Very, very important, right? And then he said, you know what, you know, but he now said, nah, people didn't do anything. If you chose to become a famous person, if you chose to be a father in a household, if you chose to be a leader in a household, if you chose to be an adult, as a matter of fact, right, there's going to be some responsibilities that come with that position. To whom much is given, much is required. If you're a famous person, right, especially if you're not a child star or something like that, you can't say the people is not your mate. Monitoring spirit is not your mate. The reason why I feel the need to correct is because it's a mindset. That mindset is a pitfall for anybody who is in a position of leadership. Anytime you're in a position of leadership, and let me see here, what's late? Oh yeah, we got a 50-50 on that one. Okay, all right, good. Being fair or not. Anyway, anytime you find yourself in a position of leadership, it comes with responsibility. You don't get to turn around and say, oh, well, there's responsibility for the follower too. No. There's a responsibility for you, at least primarily, to lead. And to lead means it is going to, particularly when it's difficult to lead. You know, oh, allow me to lead. She did not allow me to lead in the relationship. Sorry. That sounds weak as hell. Okay? And it is no wonder why you can't lead. Because your leadership skill is more needed when it's actually difficult, not when somebody makes it easy for you. If they make it easy, it's usually because they're yielding to your leadership skills, the other way around. Now they see that this one is a leader. I have no choice but to respect, trust, and submit to this leadership. That's what leadership is. Okay? Can people be unruly and be disrespectful regardless? Yes. Yes. The answer is yes to that one as well. However, it's more likely that's not your wife or the person you're leading. Okay? Because again, if you have a tendency to cry about how the followers are not doing the right thing, you are probably a terrible leader. I'll say keyword probably. Okay? Because again, there's exception. Okay? But a lot of people that complain about this is all they complain about. They're complaining about somebody not allowing them to lead. So at that point where you got to, but the people, nah, bro, you're not going to get away with that so easily. All right. Now to your favorite part, the part that you've been waiting for. This is the part you've been waiting for. Let's get into it. Let's have it. Let's go back a little bit.
A couple of places before, I got into trouble for it, but I didn't care about, that.
Fuck it, say it.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, no fits. I don't know fits. But I will talk for my own self. I don't go talk about.
But you said man, confusion. English is one of our problems, by the way.
But man, not they built to just sexually
deal with one woman. A man is not built to be
heart and love. If you calm down. Heart, love, respect, and say, oh, this person is my person. Fit. But sexually, it's impossible for man.
So what you're trying to say is that a man cannot be with one woman sexually.
Yes.
Jesus said a man cannot be
So
with
hold
bread and
on,
water.
Mama, hold on.
Completely like.
If you
So
love
are you,
woman,
hold on, I'm going to ask you a question. So which means you're with my guy, Tasha. So which means you can fuck another person apart from Tasha.
Igario.
I don't tell you what I talk.
I'm just saying.
I don't tell you what I talk. I will try my best. I will try my best.
I don't tell you with your talk.
I will try my best to answer you.
Okay.
I don't talk with your talk.
Say man feel love woman die.
My trouble is just a look for.
Your trouble are different.
Exactly.
A guy, I know we find your trouble now.
No, he don't answer now. He say man feel love woman die, but sexually. What
Okay.
again want me to tell you now?
Which means you can respect the woman and give her everything.
Individual fit decide. By themselves.
Thank you, Marriott. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Translate
I tell you
some
the biology
sentences
of
you are
man.
saying in
I
English
tell
and
you
Nigerian,
the
and I'm
biology of
getting
man. I know they
confused.
see this. Is what I'm saying to you is
I will explain.
Please.
now biology of man.
It's a biology, it's a natural thing.
Biology of man.
And anybody will want to follow.
It's a natural nature. Confusion.
So you think, hold on. Are you trying to say that a man cannot be with one woman sexually?
No. Go try to tell you, see, man feel love woman die. Everything that this woman.
Everything.
But when it comes to that sexual
Satisfaction.
it's
difficult.
Now biology of man.
Oh.
The seed too plenty. You don't fit drop off on one.
What of pastors?
It's too plenty. The seeds we carry.
See, don't make me don't talking.
They never catch them. Pastors, they never catch them.
But I want to believe that you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
It is what has gotten so many people in trouble. It's a simple fact. You need to accept that.
Is that what got people in
Understand what I'm
trouble?
saying? Because so many
Interesting
unnecessary stress,
point of view.
unnecessary stuff will be avoided if we understand the simple fact.
What is the simple fact?
And if you
I
said
think
it's simple,
a
it's
cappella needs to
unrealistic.
translate so I can understand that
What
the
is-
trade of the
realistic?
conversation.
What my
It's
guy is
not a
trying to say.
realistic
No,
thing.
wait.
These things they cause unnecessary heartache left, right, and center. We just have to understand and accept this fact. I swear to God.
An interesting part in this is when he says this thing they cause unnecessary heartache. You know, in this scenario that he's painting, there's a lot of things at play here. There is a man who chose to spread his seeds. There is a man who chose to do it without being upfront. Like, this is me, this is what I'm going to do. There's also another man who tends to do it as this is me, this is who I am. There's also a woman who you already told that this is me, but they think they can change you. There's also a woman that you didn't tell, but she feels betrayed. That's about at least 50,000 factors I just said, right? And there's also discipline. There's also human weakness. There's also temptations. That's another additional 100,000 factors, right? But somehow he concludes to biology of man. Biology of man. Listen to me, okay? The mom of say Bible, man Bible, Abi. Biology of man is a day impossible. Impossible is an absolute, right? But then he turned around. This is part of our English problem on these internet conversations. Then he turned around and said, me, oh. So that got confusing right there for people like me. But I'm learning. And they learn. My English did too much sometimes. So I'm learning to say, okay, they just generalizing. They don't mean personal. Okay, they mean confusion. They mean somewhere in between. I mean me, but at the same time, I mean everybody. But no, maybe 90% or 80%. At one point, I started saying, if they say 80%, they're generalizing. Okay, they said 82.9% of men, right? So which one out of all these 1 million variables right now are we going to choose? Because he chose one at some point. Because when he says biologically too, I have a feeling he's talking about not necessarily biology, maybe physics. Because the seeds, he said the seeds is too much. So he's talking the volume of seeds that men will produce on a day-to-day basis is just too much. There's more than enough to go around, ladies. Why are you competing when there's more than enough to go around, right? Don't worry about the fact that I didn't tell you up front that you feel a sense of betrayal. Don't worry about that. Let's just pretend that's not a real thing. I beg, we're traditional people. Let's just work. There's so much here to go around. Why not just let's face, he calls it many times in this interview, he calls it, let's just be realistic. I'm a realistic man. Let's just be realistic, right? Men are more logical. Let's just call it what it is. Sorry, hold on one second. I think I'm with him so far. I'm not sure. Hold on one second. You see his hand? He's still trying to tell us something. Let's see. He's going to tell us more.
The world would be a very easier place to exist.
Okay, few I will explain. So, in essence, put in simple English.
It's simple
a man
English.
Can love a woman, can be loyal.
A cappella say it's simple English.
But they need to satisfy other women sexually.
He has nothing to do.
He has nothing to do with whether he loves her or not. I need you to calm down. I don't think
They're telling the young lady, I need you to. She's trying to understand. He's trying to understand. Okay, she said, I need you to calm down. You know, South African ladies have heard that they rate Nigerian men at the very top. We're the prize. Don't get it twisted. We're the prize. So she's trying to understand how to satisfy, while Nigerian women are busy trying to tell us how we're wrong. Let me see. Let me come to the chat. I bet the sign language in the chat is through the roof right now. Hold on one second. Why was he shaking though? That's another conversation. MOP, thread softly, yo, before you collect. God have mercy. Already.
Sorry.
Any suru. Ola, so since there are multiple seeds, it needs to be spread all over the place and destroy your legacy. You don't get sense, Tuface. Wait now, we're getting somewhere. You have to let us land. Yes, the Toby, he won't. He's a born Aja. Jesus. So we just go and run man anytime we have a sexual itch. Are we freaking animals? Higher animals. We have cognitive abilities. Let's see. Let me see if I missed anything so far. Bible and biology. Yeah. Same in one. Yeah. Somebody say a big fool. I'm looking for it. Somebody say a big fool. At 50. Oreo Brelo Marcusi. He said it's changed, by the way. You need to watch the whole podcast, though. He said they are talking about him in the past. He's just telling us the reality of things. In the same breath, he's telling us that was the past. Okay, wait. We'll get to that one later. Men who do not want to be wholesome can continue with that mindset and create multiple broken homes. So that's bullshit. Let's hear him out. He's still talking. Nisuru. Kemi said if he's admitting he can't have sex with just one woman, his newlywed Natasha go collect. You know, she knows up front. She knows up front. You know, once you know, the truth they say shall set you free, right? That's what he's trying to tell us. Anyway, let me... A leopard know the change is spot. When he and Natasha explode, he might... Okay, all right. You guys drink water. Let me see what our poll says. 92% says false. They don't give me demographic here on who is saying false. Is it women or men saying false? There's an 8% that says true. 8% says true. Let me look at my kidney real quick. Let's look at our numbers here real quick. I'm gonna share it. I don't mind sharing it. Let's go under my audience. Let's go into let's go 90 days. Right? 90 days audience. Let's see. Is it mostly men, female here? Let's see. Male 55.9%, female 44.1%. Ladies, you need to be sharing. Men are here. They're just behind the scenes. You see, real life. I'm showing you the data, real life. Anyway, so men are here, but somehow this vote is saying 92%, and I suspect that it's women doing that voting there. You guys want to know my answer? I think I'm going to have to invite iTom to give us the answer. iTom is going to help us. iTom, Ife's husband, will be the one to help us with that, with the actual answer to this question. If it's impossible. In our women MOP, I think so. because most of the men are listening behind the scenes. They're not active in the chat and stuff. So, but I think it's women that's doing that 92% vote. 92% false. They don't think a man is a... Now, for me personally, let me declare right now where I stand. Okay, the statement is false. Okay, the statement is false. Okay, I know you guys are waiting for that. A man is not built to be sexual with one woman. That is false. And if there's any truth to it, women also will have to be included in that statement. Okay. Maybe it takes more than just our sexuality to be monogamous. Maybe it takes a little bit more than that. But Tuface is trying to teach us another level of philosophy that certain types of special people, you know how people say, don't blame pastors. People with carnal mind cannot understand this kind of things. Exactly. You know that, we live in different realities sometimes. So I can respect it. Let me see if they say anything extra here.
No, for real.
Can I ask this question?
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
in essence, your husband can...
Let's see the question she
I
had to
don't have a
ask.
problem with him satisfying other women.
Okay.
I want to say this. In this day and age, now I'm going to get very social and political and economically.
You feel free.
We have diseases out there in the world that have killed women.
Facts.
Oh,
We
are you
have-
saying those
we
diseases came
have-
recently or it's been there?
We have these men, right, that go out there and leave children all over this world that are not being
Facts.
taken care of.
Facts.
Right? So, how are we condoning such behavior that comes from a man being allowed to go and satisfy women everywhere
Well,
when they are living
see,
heartache and
if
diseases?
if you drive car and you need to put your seatbelt on, right?
If you're driving
So
the car.
what I'm
But you
saying,
guys
Very
have to
intelligent
put your
man.
seatbelt on.
what exactly? What I'm saying has no. You
See
have to be
intelligence.
responsible. You have to be responsible.
Intelligence, yakpa. Intelligence now water.
What I'm saying does not mean you don't have to be responsible.
So if as
Of course,
a woman,
that makes
so are
sense
you
now.
then
That makes
responsible?
logical
Now
sense.
You are responsible.
Just be
So
responsible.
if I, as a woman, also, because it's not written anywhere scientifically that a man should. It's there's narrative.
No,
that
forget
says women
science.
As men, right?
Philosophy.
They
If
wasn't
I,
raised with a
if I, as a woman today, also feel like I also want to be sexually satisfied by different men, are you going to agree to that?
You can't do that. Are you doing that?
According to
It's left to you. That is a smart answer.
According
Do
to
you?
research-
Do you, boo?
I like that you said there was
According
no
to
law.
which
I like
research?
that you said there was no law.
Yes.
So it's up to you.
It's up to you.
Thank you. Then
You have
it's
to be
equal. If
responsible.
your woman then goes
That's a wise answer, actually. That's a wise answer. I think a lot of time the English language is not our mother tongue. No be anybody's language, first of all. Okay? So there will be disconnect here and there. That goes when we're having this thing. I've learned to just calm down. Okay? It's not the same English I'm speaking that the other person is speaking. Just chill. Okay? I've learned if I'm going to engage this conversation, I have to chill. Listen properly, listen, active listening, ask clarity, ask questions, clarity. He let me. So when he say no, do you boo? He's telling you who he is. He's telling you who he is. I always say women don't lie, men don't listen. It's just a saying. I'm just saying you that you're trying to understand someone. You generally, for the most part, you don't listen. The other person is not lying. You just have to listen long enough. They're telling you who they are, but they might not be able to tell you in one sentence correct grammar. You have to listen long enough. Ask clarity. Now, patience to be listening long enough can be hard. It's difficult, especially if you're speaking different languages. When I say different languages, I mean it at every level. Sometimes you're speaking correct English, the other person is speaking super correct English. So sometimes you're speaking Egun, the other person is speaking Yoruba. Sometimes you're speaking Igbo, the other person is speaking Ishekiri. When there's a disconnect, right, which there's always some kind of disconnect, because the other person is expressing something that's obviously triggering you. Instead of you overreacting, chill, relax. Ask them for clarity so you can understand. What are you looking for understanding for? So you can know if you want to do or you don't want to do. Because everybody have the right to do what they want to do. The only thing they don't have the right to do is betray you. But once they do that, you also have the right to respond accordingly. Like, hopefully you have enough self-security, self-esteem to not stay in a situation that you deem harmful, right? So can I judge Tuface? No, he's telling us who he is in real time. The question is, can you listen to him long enough to understand where he's coming from? Abi, you're just going to overreact.
And then
He wasn't trying to say men are not sexual. He's trying to tell you that's just the belief I chose. He's not trying to tell you that you must adopt that belief. He's trying to say that's what I believe. Take it or leave it.
It's good, and it's
you
always
go and
good to
sleep
be
around.
upfront.
Upfront.
So the best thing to do for everybody is to be upfront.
To be upfront. Now, how realistic is that to be upfront in the world where we're packaging, where I also teach you social intelligence to make sure that you're aware that there's presentation in all of this. You have to present a certain way. There's a person that's lame on the other side say, no, but you lied to me. No, I made a presentation. I put my best foot forward and my worst foot is all the way behind. Right? No, but you lied to me. Okay. Where do we find this balance here? Presentation, a bit lie. Which one is lie? Or to be upfront. Was he 10 years ago? Was he upfront with her, or was he? This is better. Was he capable of being upfront, or he was just hoping like this girl? You get it now. Don't impregnate person. I left the house. Before I came back, somebody else was pregnant. At this point, you should understand me now. Should I use my mouth? Say bugwenu la fin soro ni. Say bugwenu la ma fin soro ni. You should understand by now. Listen, you see, I'm not saying much, but a lot. I hope you're paying attention.
That's what you want to do.
I love that.
Toxic.
I love
That's
that.
why I be.
I love that.
You know what she said? She said, I love that. Everybody wants the truth. As long as she tell me the truth, I can always respect it until you're on the receiving end of that truth. You remember that truth is bitter, is brutal. When you're on the receiving end of the truth, are you able to handle it? So am I blaming the victim? No, you figure that out, because I'm not blaming, at least not intentionally. I shouldn't blame the victim, right? I'm just letting you know that, you know, when you say, I like the truth, I like it when you tell people the truth. Make sure you keep that same energy when they tell you the truth of your stinking breath. Keep the same energy. There's a lot going on here. Are you guys paying attention?
All I just wanted to say is, let it not be a man only.
No, only I one day with.
Yes.
Stick to your word.
Let it not be a man only. Allow women, and don't call them with the B words and the whatever else.
If we do this,
they decide to
if we do this, we'll have a whole lot of peace in this world.
Do you not think that, because there's a joke that going viral recently, they'll say fathers used to have 3 kids, but these days kids have 3 fathers.
Yes.
Right? Because I think that
Wait.
It's okay.
like fathers used to have 3 kids.
It's okay.
You're coming from
Yes,
with
but
that,
right now kids have 3 fathers.
He's shocking.
Because I think it's that time we come to the realization that women sleep around as much as men do. But
Okay, so this guy is very wise. He's pushing against Tuface right now, but in a way that he can handle it. He might even go way over his head, but it's okay. But you guys listen to a cappella what he's saying right now. That joke he just cracked is trying to bring him back to reality, right? That if you're talking about polygamy as a nature of a gender, both gender are capable of moving mad. Now, if you want to talk about our social construct, which one tend to do it more than the other, then we can get into some kind of debate. In terms of by nature, the statement is false. Dead on arrival. Dead on arrival. The problem comes when people start mixing it by nature or social construct, be in our culture, be when you don't want to acknowledge the betrayal part of that conversation, which is somebody felt betrayed. Are you capable of being upfront in the beginning? Are you being upfront in the beginning? Did you even know that you will get to a point where you will experience a temptation that can take you off your feet? Did you think you were that strong? Were you the kind of person doing holier than thou until you find yourself inside or on top of somebody's bola? There are people like that. There are stories like that. Let's say by mistake. Are you saying it can happen by mistake? iTom is going to answer that for us in a second.
they still want to paint themselves as the...
Hold on. Let's move on to this. I think this will be the last segment for Tuface. Let's see. Wait.
But man, naturally.
But back to your marriage.
Back to your marriage.
What is the one thing that you would want to say to her in terms of your marriage? Any flaws that maybe you today want to admit?
What did you do wrong with Annie?
What did you do wrong?
What did you think you did wrong with Annie?
And what did you also do right? Let's also paint the good things that happened.
Both of us, you know, we gave it our best. You understand what I'm saying? We gave it our best. And why we're not together today? It's not.
Shout out to 234 Manzi.
It's not something I'm going to start
talking about here.
Me and her, we get our
Mzansi, Mzansi. Not Manzi.
It just wasn't working no more. That's just
all right. So that right there will be that's cap. But I didn't really expect him to answer.
Stop the cap.
I didn't expect him to answer the question. Also, it is true that both people are probably wrong at one time or the other, depending on what we're talking about. 11 years again is a significant segment of any human life. So I can understand that he's being gracious. He's being graceful the way he's answering those questions. Chinye says the Bible said, "Flee, none of us are strong." This conversation, this infidelity conversation thing, I think Tom is going to teach us a lot today. iTom, if he's going to teach us a lot about it. If you want to follow Two-Face's philosophy, I would say Two-Face and Annie, they were some of my favorite couple, actually. Funny enough. I just deflected. If you want to follow Two-Face's ideology, if you have to follow Two-Face's ideology here, chances are you are a betrayer. Chances are you're not that man. Chances are you are a UL Edochie who want to flip bad behavior into polygamy. It's not going to work. And if you want to do polygamy, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I'm talking about as a marriage. Okay. If you want to do, if you want to cheat on other people, in other words, you do things behind them that you wouldn't want them to see. It's not only sexual. You things behind them you wouldn't want them to see. You're a cheater, no matter how small it is. May God forgive you, but you cannot tell people how to respond to betrayal. And it's the one major thing that they have the right to dump you for. Betrayal. Okay? If he was upfront, Annie wouldn't have stayed and married him. I definitely would not marry such man. Most people will not marry a person that you're being upfront. Most people in the dispensation that we're in right now, it is monogamy is the thing for both men and women. Okay, I don't necessarily think that everybody knows how to handle when temptations comes in, or there's a breakdown in communication, in-depth, very deeply rooted breakdown that makes people start to look outside, or they start to entertain attention in the wrong places. Human beings are emotional. I don't think we've necessarily had the conversation to mitigate the risk of that. So when it happens, you see men try to flip it into polygamy as a nature, when in fact, that motherfucker is a monogamist, a chronic one who couldn't tell who couldn't have 2-3 girlfriends at the same time. Suddenly he wants to have 3 wives. So a lot of people are capping big time. Two-Face is a monogamist. It doesn't mean he's a monogamist by practice. It doesn't mean he doesn't sleep with multiple people, but he's not a polygamist. He's not a person that wants to practice multiple wives. He's a guy who wants to be emotionally safe with one woman. He would like the idea of being able to have sex with other people. That will be called, if you were being upfront, that would be called an open marriage. That would be called something else. But it's definitely not polygamy the way we know it, traditionally speaking. There's a lot of discombobulation in this thing here. The part that needs to be highlighted in that conversation is the sense of betrayal, the sense of a person who have the wrong expectation when they came into this relationship with you years back. The fact that that person, by the time that they found out that they couldn't handle that, it's a bit too late. And it's a very complicated thing, right? And the fact that you will come back home and you will lie and say, no, I wasn't with the girl, and she start to feel crazy because she actually has all types of evidence. She's been tracking your ass and she knows where you were. The fact that you didn't have the full chest, your full masculine chest to say this is what I was doing. You see, there's all kind of problems everywhere, and this conversation is not as simple as, oh, men are just biological. No. That's a big cap. You're capping big time. And
let the poor
Breathe.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Let me come and shout out to Tuface. Tuface is one of our legends. But he go explain tired on this one. You go explain.
We go explain because no evidence.
Let me cover a few chats here. Shout out to Onibe in the chat. Mario Design were there, but she married. Yeah, signs. Yeah, again, ambiguity. You know, unfortunately, signs are signs. Signs are signs. But I think those are actually the least part of the conversation. I think majority of these cases that are hurtful is when you least expect it coming. Yeah, that's another conversation for another day. He's just a hoe, a slut. He's not looking for multiple wives. There you go. I didn't say that, but you get the point I was making. There's a difference between a person who just wants to sleep around and a polygamist in practice. Okay. And then bench other women are Satan to Baba. Hey, women like Annie are often delusional about how much they can bear while blinded by love. Yeah, it's a very complicated thing. All right, if it seems so simple for you, that's very, very possible, but you probably have your own area of life where it is not always straightforward. So I want to give her that, you know. Hopefully she's hired a coach to know what she's doing. They asked Tu Baba somewhere, say, don't you think you might need some help or anything? And they say, oh, I'm a realistic person. I'm like, huh? Wala. You
will end up in McDonald's.
All right, shout out to Tu Baba. Let's leave him alone. But iTom and Ife, they are going to help us, okay? Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. And I will be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. So if you guys don't know who Ife is a popular blogger out there. She's no longer, the feminism thing is a little bit on the back burner now. She's now a soft feminine wife, and I'm going to give all that credit to iTom, the new husband. Gentlemen, listen to me carefully. I'm not going to ask you to take a risk and go and be with a die-hard toxic feminist. That's not what, you know. First of all, that will not be relevant in the actual conversation. What you should be looking at is a person's character and to see if they fit you. The whole feminism thing is a different conversation entirely, because in our society, we must continue to advocate for equity for women, especially in workplace and in society as large. But when it comes to the family, it's a little bit of a different dynamic, because that woman is going to expect you to be a leader. She might be asking for equality, but when things get down to it, she's going to expect you to be a grown-ass man. You know what that looks like? A lot more responsibility when it comes to bringing structure, security, safety, a sense of those things in particular, not necessarily touchables, but she expects you to lead, to set the tone. Because if you know how to do that, she will build a home with it. When it comes to the family dynamics, it's a different ball game entirely. If you don't understand anything I just said, I needed to start with that. If you don't get it,
you get it. Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it. All right.
Let's keep it moving. All right. So, Ife, she's a blogger. Obviously, advocate for women, which is a beautiful thing. So this young man, who is actually, I don't know how much younger he is, but he's younger than Ife, has decided to do life with Ife. And from everything I've seen thus far, which is very little, maybe less than 0.001%, I don't know them like that. I like it. I love it for them. I love what they're doing. Let me do a quick shout out. I see the yellow in my corner. Thank you. I was hoping you won't. What did I do? But thank you. £9 is like about $99. Goes a long way. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let me take a sip, and then we dance a little bit, and then we'll continue. Shall we? Thank you guys. Thank you. All right, so let me see here. It's obvious how feminism was for content purposes only. Wow, Abby, that's how you feel, Abby? Wow. Ife and Tiolofo at 42, that's how you feel? Why? Is it because of the surrogacy thing? I'm not a fan of the surrogacy thing too. The surrogacy thing, I'm like, you notice I didn't cover it because I'm like, I don't know what's about. I just think I said on Uncle Beno's show, it's an overwoke nonsense something. She need to calm down. Let me see. Onibe said something earlier on. I was trying to catch it, but I missed it. I guess she was just greeting us. Shout out to Onibe. Amenze, shout out to Amenze. Say his soon-to-be wife will be his nemesis. She will be the one that's talking about Two-Face, right? Sure, I'm shaking. So he's up front now. So, let's see. Onibe, I'm looking for your comments. Okay, you guys were just talking, I think. Let's look at Toby and try to say, if both partners know from the beginning that they will cheat on each other, I wonder if they will be willing to invest in each other as much. No, they won't. That's why you have to be careful with people who claim to be holier than thou. I just want to tell you up front. I like it when they tell me, if a woman says, gentlemen, if a woman says, as long as you tell me up front, she is going to cheat on you. Okay, you need to read beyond the obvious. She's saying it's okay, just in case one day I feel like it's itching too. That's what she's saying essentially. Oh no, she just like the truth. No, cap. Human beings are human beings. There's a balance you're looking for. Okay, we want to feel safe, but no, we don't like whatever you call stupid reality truth. No, we don't want that. We want you to tread softly and lightly. We want you to, we like the fantasy part of life too, right? We like to think that you're loyal to me. Now, can we achieve that? Yes, but you have to look at other things beyond the words. People's actions speak louder than their words. Okay, a person's lifestyle will tell you everything you need if you can listen. If you have active listening skills and the spirit of discernment, a person's lifestyle will tell you everything you need to know. The rest of it is cho. You need to know everything. It's arrogance. It's pride that's worrying you. If you need to know everything, now just tell me so I can know the truth. You're lying. You maybe not intentionally, but you're lying. You're not going to know. A person's lifestyle over a period of time will tell you everything you need to know. But some Ola, you don't know. Some people are really that good. You see the angle you went to. There's no guarantee in life. That's part of the things that lame people do. They're always looking for guarantee. There's no guarantee anywhere. The closest thing to guarantee is the work you put in yourself, because you will continue to attract yourself. Speaking of, gentlemen, I'm not going to ask you to take a risk because somebody is going all over the internet and they can make 5 or 7 statements without saying misogyny. That person should probably, there's a good reason why they're doing that. They should follow their lane, their life purpose, which is probably fighting for women. It's probably going to bleed into your relationship. So I'm not going to tell you to take a risk, but you know better. Only you know better. Sometimes you just feel safe with the person. And I want to believe that's what iTom did. And to be honest, I didn't really follow Ife back then. So I don't know how authentic she was or how deeply rooted in this feminism she was. But bottom line that she has in her to, and it wasn't the first time she would attempt to marry a person. She had it in her to she had some femininity in her, because she's showing it. Anytime you see her around this guy, you could just see it. I'm going to credit it to my brother, iTom. All right, so this guy she married is a photographer that she is upgrading. No, this guy does very well. He has some serious work. In fact, I think it was work that brought them together according to their story. You should go listen to the podcast I'm about to react to right now, but I'm reacting to some specific parts that kind of correlate with what Two-Face was saying earlier. Okay. Abby said, nobody even said you should take your feminist thoughts that far to begin with. It's okay to be reasonable and give men their flowers when deserved. That's the reality that we need to start facing. You know, life is about looking for that sweet spot. Always, you're always looking for that sweet spot. We should fight evil people across the board. We should destroy them as much as we can. But when you're trying to relate with another human being, you need to be careful so that you don't become, you know how you, shout out to Peter Obi, said, you're busy chasing a thief and then you left your shop open. The thief will steal the rest of the stuff in your shop. There, take it easy, you know. Don't be emotional about whatever you're advocating for. Consider all the factors, the threats, the opportunities here. Focus more on aligning with people as opposed to looking to destroy, looking for enemies. If you're looking for enemies all over the place, you're going to become an enemy of progress, basically, you know. So anyway, I think I already expressed that point. Let's move on and let's address some of this other stuff that we have to talk about. So Frank iTom destroys Ife's feminist dang logic on cheating. A little bit of clickbaiting there, okay? But shout out to Ife. I like Ife, by the way. I really like Ife. And I like Ife for this young man, okay? Because they have something that I could see in their energy that I think will stand the test of time. What is it that they have? Anybody want to guess that I think they have that will allow them to stand the test of time? Anybody want to guess while I'm pulling up the video? Anybody want to guess what I think they have while I'm pulling up the video? What do they have that will allow them to stand the test of time? First of all, why is there a test? What do you mean? Marriage is supposed to be sweet. Always. There's no test. If you just ask all the right questions in the beginning and marry the right person, life will just be smooth. You don't whine? You don't whine? Anybody want to guess what I think is... So we're going to go into the poll, into the poll stuff right now, okay? Let's see here. Close this guy. Oh, Abosede. Shout out to Abosede. She gets it. She gets it. Yes. Friendship. Friendship. You don't have friendship? You're that far away from guarantees. If you don't have friendship, look at the smile on this guy's face. I mean, just check out the smile on his face. If you're a man and a woman can put a smile on your face just by looking at her this way, just in conversations with her, do you think you'll be roaming around the internet shouting feminist up and down like your enemy of progress? I'm asking. Do you think you'll be shouting enemy feminist, this woman, this woman? You think you'll be shaming women and single mothers all over the internet? If in your life presently, a woman, your sexual partner, your romantic partner, do you think you will have it in you to be shaming single mothers around the internet? I doubt it. I doubt it. No. It's just the conversations. We can separate the conversation. You know, as men, we can compartmentalize.
Stop the cap.
Nah, I don't know. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Okay. All right. So we're going to handle a few clips together. Okay, a few clips together. Let's listen to the question that Ife is asking here. Okay. Yeah. Abby said marriage is usually sweet in the beginning. That's true. That's true also. But beyond that, like I said, I'm seeing friendship. I'm also seeing the playfulness. Okay, that goes a long way. It's very hard to get rid of that or to replace that ever. And when you're not able to replace a person, you know what you tend to do more? You probably will fight more. You probably will yield less to social media rhetoric. When there's crisis, which is inevitable, you will do your best. As long as you're not in harm's way, as long as safety is not being threatened, you will do your best. The reality is that a lot of people are not doing their best because of the environment. They think the grass is greener on the other side. Oh more. Hey. The grass is greener on the other side. Jump or pass. Let's listen to this first clip.
you think any questions? I'm the host of this show. Honestly, do you think at some point all men will cheat? My ring is halfway as I speak like this.
Do you think at some point all men will cheat? Before I continue, look at Ife's face. Somebody's like, oh, she's so feminine. Don't go there and be comparing, look for your own feminine. Don't compare. Anyway, they look good. I love what they're doing. But I have the question now. Okay, let's set up this poll real quick. Shout out to Uncle Dayo. I think I see you in the chat. Good to see you, sir. Let's see here. True or false? Don't worry, let me set up the poll to make it easier for us. Okay. At some point, before we get iTom's answer, at some point all men will cheat. True or false? Answer. Let me see. Let's see how the perceived family will represent today. Some of you can predict already. You've been listening long enough, you can predict it. The poll is there. Let's see. Let's have it. At some point, all men will cheat. True or false? Interesting. Look at this. Look at this in real life. Look at this. These people. A whole 25%. A whole 25%. Wow. Wow. Interesting. I mean, if I was a feminist for clout, oh, Bernie, you don't believe her? Or you never believed her? I can't stand imbalanced information causes a lot of problems for the viewers. Oh, so she was just chasing clout. Babe says force of life. Okay, all right. Let me see. Let me see what we have finally here. Okay, this is interesting. So true, 40%. Let me end it. Out of how many votes was this? Okay, only 5 votes. Anyway, not a lot to make anything out of it. But let's see the answer that iTom is going to give, and let's see if we agree or disagree. Let's have it.
All right, you go on. Hurry up and answer the question.
So I think the only answer to that question, the genuine answer to that question, that at some point would all men cheat, is no. We have been conditioned to think that just because something looks commonplace, that is actually really the order of the day. It's not true. It is totally not true. There are many men I have seen, I know, who their first sexual experience was their wife.
Same.
And that is what it will continue to be.
Same.
Right. And so when we carry on this thought that just because I
didn't know her before. If she was a feminist before, she's doing well.
A good man is cheating. If this man can cheat, do you get?
Anybody can cheat.
Yes, then all men cheat. No, that is a lie. However, when I look at this story, it's reminding me of the age-long question: do cheating men change? And the answer is yes. However,
do cheating men change? We'll get to that one later on.
However, Ife, when we look at we have to look at every case differently.
Every case is different. I'm going to end that. If you like it, go to Diary of a Niger Girl, our podcast, and listen to the whole thing. Right? But we have the next one here. We have the next poll. Let's set up the next poll right now. All right. And let me prepare you for it. Cheating can be a mistake. True or false? Cheating can be a mistake. True or false? Let me set it up. Wait for it. Let's just use the yes or no so it can be easier, faster. Cheating can be a mistake. True or false? Yes or no? True will be equals to yes. False will be no. Let's have it. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. We're at 50-50, yo. If you don't agree, Put your votes in real quick. All right. So while let's watch this video while we're dealing with that. Let's watch this video. Hold on.
Yes. Because I mean, people are not perfect, but
no, people will make mistakes.
They will make mistakes.
Yes.
Cheating is not a mistake, by the way.
No, cheating is not a mistake.
Okay, so
cheating could be a mistake.
Explain.
Fima, wait for me. Zoom in and explain.
He said could be a mistake, but it's not a mistake. What does it mean?
Let me tell you what I mean.
Why cheating can be a mistake?
Let me tell you what I mean. Even in the intention of doing something, have you ever done something that you, after the fact, you realize I shouldn't have done this? Not because, no, hold on. Not because you were not aware when you were doing it. Because I don't think that anybody blindly does anything, right? But after the fact, you have come to the realization that the thing that you did
was wrong.
How? And I'm getting somewhere. And you have made a mistake, a lapse in judgment, a lapse in action, whatever it is. You made an error.
A lapse in judgment,
which is a mistake, right?
Let me tell you what a mistake is.
I'm
walking past.
Is the definition?
Let me tell you what a mistake is. I'm walking past and I say, I don't know, I just my hand just hits the cup. That is a mistake. It's not wrong. So why?
Because is the word.
Exactly.
So something that you do without
wrong or mistake.
Has nothing to do with consciousness.
Mistake.
No. They are both mistakes.
So when they take the definition of mistake in the dictionary for me.
Dictionary
because when you read something and you're I did not see it. Mistake.
Let's have it. Even dictionaries are getting smarter.
You just off your area, but just remove your clothes.
And you fell pregnant.
You now enter somebody's vagina.
You fall on Bola by mistake.
The person now say, why? Yeah, you don't know. You now came out. That's mistake. You don't know. We're completely unaware. No. I'm not saying that wrongdoing cannot be forgiven. I'm saying do not mistake a wrong, conscious wrongdoing.
Why would this guy travel to get permanent dental implants? Instead of placing you in temporary teeth, you get your permanent teeth.
As a mistake.
No.
Have you seen the definition of mistake?
Let's see the definition. Let's see it.
An act or judgment that is misguided or wrong.
An act or judgment that is misguided or wrong. When you use the word or, that means it might be or, not and, means it's both true at the same time. All you need is one of these to be true before you can call it a mistake. If it's misguided, it can also be a mistake. Just because it is not wrong, it can still be right. It can still can it be right and be a mistake? Well, it's probably hard to do that. But the point is that it's not just a mistake just because it's wrong. This is, let me see, the other one said mistake is to be wrong about something, right? But the misguided part is something we should look at closer. Let's see what else they say.
Verb, be wrong about something.
So it's all about wrongdoing.
Yes. So again, that is where I'm saying it from. That the reason we say it's not a mistake is because we are
lapse of judgment.
Literally saying that the person seems to be saying,
I wasn't conscious.
You know, I was drunk. No. We are aware. We are aware.
Not to say hitting the curb is an accident, not mistake.
Consciousness.
I tell that to you, Natu.
But in cheating, the person you cheated with, both of you were aware you were going to cheat.
You were aware.
But I'm saying that there are people who, after the fact, realize I have made a grave mistake. I've made an.
What I've heard people say is, I say, because it's premeditated, it cannot be a mistake. You can premeditate a whole mistake. Okay. It's all semantics, by the way. It doesn't really matter. If you hurt a person, you betray a person, you go collect. Bottom line. Okay. Even if they tell you it's okay, you can still collect for years after that. But this old age argument right now, maybe we can put it to rest finally, right? Misguided, right? Premeditated does not make it not a mistake, right? Premeditated does not make it not a mistake. It is the outcome of how you feel later that might make you say, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have gone that direction. I shouldn't have taken a series of steps I took over the last 3 months because I was in a bad place. You hear people say sometimes I was in a very dark place, right? Is it an excuse? No, it doesn't have to be an excuse. Right? While we're talking about this, it won't matter, honestly, for the most part. But
error.
It's a conversation that people are having.
And I want to correct that error. in this case, when I'm looking at this conversation, this situation, right, I'm saying that
all right, let's rest that one so that you guys can go watch it over there and support them if you want to. Cheating can be a mistake, true or false? Only 33% say yes. The people that say false are 67%. I understand it. I get it. It's a little bit of ambiguity there, so I understand it. At the end of the day, like I said, it won't really matter. If you don't cheat on a person and they feel betrayed, and they feel they can't trust you anymore, you don't collect. And you can't tell them how to react. Sorry. You have to be super patient. You have to be generous with patience to get closer to any chances of fixing it. Is it fixable? Yes. There is infidelity recovery that actually works, by the way. But it takes the betrayer to be willing to commit to the process. It's a very difficult process. All right, so with that being said, let's move on to the next segment. Let's listen to this. The next question here. Let's end that poll. 62% says false. Said, no, I'm a coconut head. No, it is never a mistake. No, my coconut said it is no, it's false. It's okay, guys. As long as you understand the context here, that's what matters. Okay, remember, true will be yes, false will be no. Once a cheater, always a cheater. All right, let's have it. Let's hear what iTom has to say. But I just set up the poll. Let's hear it. Let's go. Oh yeah, iTom, let's go.
Write that down for me. 2024.
You need to meet surging content demands without compromising your business or your brand. With Adobe
we have to end on time, by the way.
Why are you jittery? Like the phone on speaker.
So with forgiveness and with restitution and all of those things should come transparency.
Yes.
I absolutely. In fact, let's just write that
very,
down.
Very useful.
2024. 2025. Frank said so.
Yes, I think so.
Is once a cheater always a cheater? Yes or no?
No.
Have you ever cheated?
But Betty, Betty.
Explain. Because no evidence.
Let me see what the votes are saying. Oh, that's 50-50, huh? 50-50. This is lovely. Love it. Okay. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I like to see that 50-50. I feel like most people think, because trust, the reason why most people feel that way, because trust is a very delicate thing, you know, and like I said, it's difficult. But anything that's worthwhile in life is difficult, right? So because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. Some people think of difficult as impossible. But yeah, let's have his full thought on that.
What?
Betty.
But people be moving the way they move.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that
patterns.
A cheat will always remain a cheat. Newton's second law of motion states that this second law, that I think it's the first law, that an object will move on a parallel line until it is disrupted. Until the disruption happens, the thing will continue going like that, right? So something tangible has to happen to a person for a person to say, I want to change, right? So if a person just suddenly says, I want to change, and in my opinion, if it's not backed with real evidence as the word of God, like the word of God or the word of God, Baba, we are just talking. Is a wish, is feel good, but you will go back to it.
Yep.
Can you
patterns? Let me see what we said. Once a cheater, always a cheater. 57%. So we're a little bit more now. 7 votes. More people are saying what's a cheater. You're wrong. But all 57 people are wrong. 57% people are wrong. You're the same person as the person that say all men are cheaters. You're also wrong, because there are men that did not even have sex until they married. Doesn't mean they can't cheat, but there's a low likelihood that they will do that. It's just not who they are. Okay. And also it costs you a lot of resources to engage in that type of lifestyle. In Nigeria, it might be a little bit more easier, but it's not easy to just be living a life of lies if you're especially a man of purpose. It's highly unlikely. Is it possible? Yes. Probable? No. If you're a certain type of woman, just because you're a certain type of woman, the kind of man you will attract is also it's improbable that you will attract a man who cheats. Certain types of women too. But when you look at people that tend to say all men cheat, they also tend to attract that. I'm not talking about iTom or magic, okay? It's just that you settle in yourself that it is mediocrity is okay. It's just who you are as a person, and you tend to attract that as well too. And there's more than enough of them. Anything you're looking for in this life, there's more than enough of them, and they exist. It's your outlook on life. All right. So I think we should. So now the next question here. I think we addressed that. Let's finish this thought. Let's see.
You forgive a cheating partner.
Oh, we already got that. Okay, so the next question now. Can you forgive a cheating partner? Let me hear this. There's no right or wrong answer here. Just tell me how you truly feel. There's no right or wrong answers. Okay, we're rounding up. Shout out to iTom and Ife for helping us with this one. Can you forgive a cheating partner? Well, let me end this poll. This poll ended up at 56% and 44%. It's okay. Yes, as long as we're learning and unlearning and adjusting as we go. Can you forgive a cheating partner? Yes or no? Let me have it in the poll. Let's listen to him.
Yes. But you will go back to it.
Can you forgive a cheating partner?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
How many times does somebody have to cheat on you before it becomes a problem?
More than once.
You do it once, you forgive.
Yes.
You do it twice, you forgive.
No, more than if you do it more than once.
Okay, more than once. So one time, wrongdoing, you're sorry, mistake, and the second time.
No, not just mistake. It's not where the film her face. Film and where.
Exactly.
It's not you.
Because that moment's like, oh, you accept more than once. That's that's a major reason why I will never say yes. It's a no. It shouldn't be. It's a low tolerance. It's a zero tolerance thing. However, I always have a caveat that the reality is that I don't know what I would do, right? But it's a no. The automatic. If you want an automatic answer, it's a no. I will not forgive a cheating partner. Okay, but I also know better when it comes to the reality of things, because remember, my definition of cheating does not start when kwekus enter or a prick enter kwekus. No, it starts when you start going downstairs to eat ice cream that you wouldn't want to eat in front of him. That's cheating. Wait, but my body, my choice. I'm telling you straight up, that's cheating. If you wouldn't want to do it in front of me and you would do it behind me intentionally, mistakenly or not, that's cheating. At that point, I start looking at it as cheating, and it's a no. But I won't say I will never. But if you're looking for automatic answer, it's a no, and it's a never. All right, so let's play this.
I mean, you would not. And see the Bible said it with boldness, you would not. The only reason I say that with boldness again is because my confidence and my trust in you is not because of who you are, it's because of who's you. Oh God. Oh, sometimes see, I get high.
That's the last part right there. That's the last part right there. Okay, that's the last part. I'm gonna let him land it. Okay. First of all, I have Uncle Dayo in the studio. I'll bring him up in a second. This part is very, very important for us to walk away with today. Okay. I would definitely say pay attention to them as a couple, not to be watching them so that you can see when they follow. Just to watch the dynamics of a relationship that has friendship. There's ups and there's downs, and this is real life. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, but sex is that much sweeter, and managing your pride is that much easier when you are friends. All realistic expectations becomes less of a thing because you are in vibes with them so much that you almost know everything without knowing everything. You find them interesting at that level that you're not bored by their presence. As opposed to, no, it is a duty. You just do it because you're supposed to do it. Yeah, nice, cute, but that's not reality. Okay? You need to leverage friendship. Friendship help you lift the heavy weight of it altogether. But he's saying something here with respect to trust. I'm going to use it to set up the last but not the least poll question real quick. Let me see what our final answer on that one. Can you forgive a cheating partner? Yes or no? 75% says no. Okay, I say no. 25% say yes. Watch out for people that say yes. They might be cheaters. Might be. maybe cheaters. Okay. All right. Again, no right and wrong questions. I just want you to understand that human beings were spiritual, and as much as we like to be intentional, we're full of shit. Okay, and we like to fantasize and we like to feel safe more than anything. So the work you should be doing should be internal more so than, oh, I'm intentional, so let's be blunt up front. It's bullshit for the most part. Okay, people's vibe, their energy. That's why I said friendship, because it helps you carry a lot of the weight. You should be intentional with respect to emotional intelligence. You cannot be just intentional because you know how to just tell the truth. You're full of shit. Okay, I'm just telling you straight up. See, you like truth, right? That is the truth. All right, so last but not least, Paul, I set that up. It's possible to trust again after cheating? True or false? Let's have iTom teach us what trust looks like. Then I'll have Uncle Dio finish with us.
Oh, I said it with boldness, you would not. The only reason I said that with boldness again is because my confidence.
He's saying the reason why he said that with boldness. This yes with boldness. Okay, this is the part where I come to the middle. Okay,
and my trust in you is not because of who you are, it's because of who's you. Oh God. Oh, sometimes see, I get high on my own.
Oh, your own wisdom. Mm-hmm.
It's not because of who you are, but whose you are. So the thing that I'm trusting is not you, it's the God in you, right? The fact that I can go to bed at night is because I know that your heart is burning for God. It's to God. So your fear is not, or your reverence is not towards me, it's towards God, because that is who we serve, right? It's like people who do not have someone that they're accountable to, right? That worries me. Or if there's nobody that can call your phone and you're shaking, that will worry me, right? Somebody like you have to have a spirit, like somebody needs to be, like you need to be accountable towards somebody. Like,
all right, so the way we set that up in our program here, let me bring Okudaya up, is the GPS. We have 3 core pillars. We have God, purpose, self. If you're not a God believer, you have gratitude, purpose, self, right? But I like the way he's saying it, accountability as well, right? Somebody that you can yield to, something higher than you that you can yield to. When people have a purpose, that's the whole point of purpose in that, right? GPS. When you have a purpose in life, a life mission, a life purpose, something bigger than you generally have less time for bullshit. Okay? Generally, you have less time for bullshit. And if for some reason, for some weird devilish, the devil attack your marriage reasons, somebody fell out or they made a mistake, obviously they have to be remorseful. Obviously they have to show change behavior over a period of time, and that will be the best form of apology, change behavior over a period of time, tested, right? So can they be patient through that process, or they will come back because they were actually answering the question of a young lady who the husband is asking for forgiveness, but he's actively using the fact that he's asked for forgiveness to manipulate her. If a person is not showing changed behavior, first of all, it'd be hard for you to forgive them. If it's hard for you to forgive them, it's because something is much more truthful than what you can touch. It's probably because they are not accountable yet. It's probably because they're actively trying to manipulate you, and they need to show a little bit more than just their words, But let me bring Uncle Daya to the stage. Uncle Daya, how are you doing, sir?
Good day. On the Prestige Farm, I really appreciate being here today.
Good to see you, sir. That network is not networking though. I'll mute so you can say your piece real quick.
Okay, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. I'll mute so you can have a free network. Go.
Now, as I was saying, I wanted to ask a question. Then again, I'll say something about what you have just said. In a couple's life, please, I want to advise anybody that does not have an anchor. You don't have an anchor. I call it anchor. What my brother just called GPS now. If somebody as a man or as a woman, you don't have an anchor, that is, you don't have somebody up there that you are accountable to, or somebody that can call you to order, somebody that can, that you fear. In most cases, some people fear God. In some other cases, some people fear fellow humans in whatever capacity they are. But if you as a person don't have somebody there that you are accountable to, then it's a red flag. Fact, it is dangerous. But if you have somebody there that you are like kind of accountable to, it will guide you and help you in situations like this. When somebody offends you, that you naturally by yourself you don't want to forgive, but that supreme being there that kind of a reference can give you peace in your heart and help you to be able to forgive that person. So forgiveness is possible. That's number one. Number two, I want to ask this question that I said I wanted to ask. Tell me one single act or any act at all that cannot be conducted by mistake. Anyone, if you can just mention anyone that this one, no matter how you do it cannot be conducted by mistake. You may find out that no matter how critically you think about it,
not to say it's an accident, not a mistake. I think I saw that earlier.
Because when some people say that cheating can never be by mistake, I was like, where is this one coming from? So tell me one single act in this life that we are living now that cannot be done by accident or by mistake. If you can tell me, then I will accept. Otherwise, anything is possible by accident or by mistake. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Your network no dey strong, so I know if it engage you too much. I saw Natu said earlier that hitting the curb is an accident, not a mistake. That's essentially the same thing, particularly in this context. But what do I want you to walk away with today? What do I want you to walk away with all of this from? Shout out to iTom. I like the guy, and I like Ife for him. People like him also tend to yield to an assertive, intelligent woman. So I could see where their attraction is. But I pray that God will bless their union. But let's talk about this real quick. What do I want you to walk away with from all of this today? It's very, very simple. Cheating, infidelity starts long before a kwekus receives a prick. Okay, it starts long before that. It starts at the moment that a person does not feel safe with you much longer, and they can't even tell you about the money they spent yesterday. That's when it starts. They can't tell you about the type of friendship they are keeping. They rather not hang out with you. They rather hang out with another friend. They'll go to a spot with a few friends, but they know you're insecure, so they're not going to tell you where they were. Eventually, they get more and more comfortable and stuff like that, right? Cheating starts long before we call it cheating, okay? So if you say, I will never accept cheating, I hope you know the ramifications or the weight of what you're talking about. So in that context, will everybody cheat? It's almost a yes. But in terms of another person falling on a kwekus, be mistakenly entering somebody's kwekus, is that always a always? No, that's not always a always. There's so many people that rather than go cheat on you, in terms of physically cheating with another person, they will cheat on you in other ways that's going to hurt. It will still feel like betrayal. They will disconnect from you. They might shut down on you. They might not be able to be intimate with you for years. And honestly, it doesn't necessarily mean they're touching somebody else. There's a lot of men that say because their woman is not sleeping with them, they say it must mean that she's sleeping with somebody else. That's not always true. Okay, she might settle into herself and just be comfortable, like, oh, it is what it is. She might not deliberately. Is it a mistake that a woman will weaponize sex against her husband? Well, is it a mistake? Can she feel like that's a mistake years later, that she could have done better work on her marriage? Yes. Can the husband come back and say, that's not a mistake, you know what you were doing, you wanted to hurt me? Yes. Will he be wrong? He's wrong. There's no Uncle Dayo is right. There's no action in this world that can't fall in the realm of mistakes or an accident, or over a period of time you had a lapse of judgment. We're human beings. So if you're going to trust a person, if you're going to trust a person with your life, if you're going to do that, make sure you're trusting whose they are. I like what he said. What they belong to, what did they yield to, what are they accountable to? Beyond just the capability of that one person to be disciplined, you might just fall flat on your face if that's what you're counting on. All right. Without any further ado, we're just gonna end it right there. Amenze say cheating is never a mistake, it's a calculated decision. You're wrong, Amenze. Shout out to you. You're wrong. Okay, and here's more reason why you're wrong, not just semantics of it, because that one is easy. We can go and pull dictionary meaning again, right? It's the mindset behind it. Okay, the mindset behind it also translates to other aspects of life. You probably will struggle with giving grace when it's actually your biggest point of leverage. You probably will struggle with that. Okay, and in small things, you probably will struggle with grace. You're probably more of I'm an accountability person, so I hold everything accountable. That is a double-edged sword. It can cut both ways. The mom of 5, forgiveness is possible, but trust is going to be out of this world, so I might as well not forgive. Forgiveness is not necessarily a decision you make either. It's not a decision. It can start as a decision, but the other person needs to move a certain way for it to be rooted. If you forgive just because you like to call yourself a Christian, I'm just going to forgive and forget, but the person does not change their ways, how capable exactly are you of forgiving? Not so easy anymore, right? Exactly. So forgiveness is a process. It's not an action thing when it comes to marriage, at least. Forgiveness is possible, but trust go tough. Trust is difficult, particularly trust that's been broken. Trust from a place of I don't really know this person, but I trust them. We do that all the time when we fall in love, don't we? Is that really trust? Let's call it trust. I trust my partner because they've never really broken. That's easy. If they break that trust, it's very difficult. Mario says, relationship content makes me uncomfortable. I understand. Toby and Tribe say, if they are remorseful and change their ways, I can. Though it is not easy. It's just that forgiveness spirit we all need. Grace, forgiveness, open-mindedness. That's another phrase I can use. If you're like semantics dictionary says, you will struggle with keeping an open mind. It is a necessary ingredient in healthy relationship. It is a necessary ingredient. You're going to need it. Keeping an open mind. Keeping an open mind doesn't mean you allow anybody. You keep your legs open. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean an imashao. It just means you tend to listen faster than you talk. You tend to understand faster than respond. You tend to listen to understand faster than you tend to listen to just respond. You get triggered easily if you're close-minded. Okay. Mara said, I don't know. I can't forgive financial infidelity, Sha. You are a goner with that one. That means if you steal your money. Is that what you mean? I don't know why you would end up with a person that will steal your money, Sha. That would be a deeper conversation. Another conversation entirely. Is that what you mean by financial infidelity? I'll be hiding money. Another angle. Anyone who believes that change is possible should know that people can change. Uncle Dayo, I disagree. Change is not just possible. I disagree slightly. Change is inevitable. Change is constant. Change is the only thing we call life and the human experience. So why would anybody now want to learn how to navigate it in their favor? Like people never change. No, people do change all the time. It's precisely what they do. Change in the direction you want is a different conversation. But the fact that always a cheater, always a teacher is actually false. It's just not realistic. Okay? It's not realistic. Will they always cheat on you with the pekus? Or will they always cheat on you or find ways to betray you? Do they have patterns? Yes. And I think he spoke to that too. Do they have a certain way that they move? Yes. But that they will just always cheat? No, you're just making yourself feel good short term. In the long term, you continue to feel sad, and you might end up justifying cheating because you think your partner would never change. You're just a cheater if you do that, just so you know. Okay. Forgiveness is possible, but trust will have to be earned. Absolutely. Over a period of time. You have to be generous with patience. If you cheat on somebody, you have to be generous if you want it. But first of all, you have to change your behavior. You have to mean it, okay? And if they do the work on themselves, they can smell it if you change or not. So it doesn't have to be you touch tangibles, okay? They can smell it, and they will never feel comfortable if you don't change your behavior. And it's a process over a period of time, okay? And there's one last point I need to make here. You have to be super generous. Okay, you have to be super generous, and they have the right to dump your ass and leave you. That's the one excuse that I think the scripture gave them permission to dump you for. But even if the scripture didn't say it, people's mental health is everything. So it is what it is. All right. I went over my 2 hours mark, which means it'll be difficult for me to get some splits shots out of this on StreamYard, but it's okay. I just wanted to make sure I focus on I think Auntie B is going live too. I want to see Auntie B, also the mom of 5. I think she's going live, so let me end it right there. Let me end it right there. I would have loved to do questions. If you guys are interested in Q&A or something like that later on, we can always do it. But I think you guys here are more interested in the cruise. Let's keep doing what we're doing. There's always lessons. Shinya says you cannot be manipulative with your apology. Yes, apologies must say I'm accountable. Doesn't have to say it's my fault. It just have to say I take responsibility. I'm responsible for my behavior, and that's it. And the end of full stop. If he has a but, it's nullified. It's null and void. If he has a but, but in it, it's null and void. If you can't do that, then sorry, they have the right to feel how they feel, and they won't feel safe. To the person that's forgiving, never mind they said they can forgive. They're all liars too. They need to feel safe to actually forgive. Some of them will say they forgive, but they never really forgive. Okay, they will show you shege inside of that relationship. Why? Because they still don't feel safe. They have to look over their shoulder every time. Every time you go down the street, they already put a tracker in your car. Why would you want to be that kind of person without coming full front and tell them like this is what you want to do? If you can't do that, then let it go. All of that is easier said than done. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let's go join wherever your favorite is. I think the mom of 5, Auntie B, they're going live. It's all the same community. Just go join and let's go support those people and let them know where you're coming from. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care and God bless. Cheers. Peace.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.